Alright, Facebook, YouTube, we're on another job. We got a water heater leak. Came down here in the basement and 40-gallon natural gas. And this is a real strange one I wanted to show you guys because this is a pretty good looking water heater. It's been taken care of pretty well. You don't see a lot of allergy and a lot of problems with the copper. Copper is one of the best pipes, probably the most used pipe from the past and not present. A lot of people are turning to PEX, even polybutylene and CPVC for hot and cold water. PVC is just for cold water. But we can see this copper looks good. Usually it turns green and brown and all kind of stuff, get little pinholes, leaks in it. Copper is notorious for getting leaks in cold weather. But this particular water heater is leaking. And what's strange about it is, even though everything looks good as far as the condition, this is still an older water heater. It's I think it goes back, oh shucks, drop my piece. I think it goes back to 2005, and so that's over 10 years. Warranties are gone on it, so we can expect a leak in it. But the problem here is there's no actual leak that's showing on the face. And the thing about these water heaters is they're inside of a shell. This is a metal shell, and you got two tanks. You got the bottom tank and you got the top tank. These supply lines go down to the bottom to get the hot water to come up fast, and the cold water goes in to go to the bottom. The cold water goes to the bottom and the hot water rises to the top tank, ready to use in your house. So it's in this shell, but it's really glass, like a glass material inside the shell, and you can't see where the leak's coming from sometimes. This one is particularly funny, and I had to record this because look where I'm showing them leak. The water's dropping down from this vent here. Now the vent is hooked up to the AC. For my initial thing, I was like, man, this water, where in the world is this coming from? I never saw condensation come out of a water heater, right out of the flue vent. But believe it or not, after I sit here and look at it for a while, turn the water off and on, I believe the water's actually coming from down in the tank, and it's spraying so hard and powerful, it's shooting up in here. And that's why it looks like the water's coming from here, dropping down. Let me explain this to the customer. Ma'am? Yes, sir. I wanted to explain to you. What's going on actually is the water heaters, it is leaking. It's busted inside the tank. And the water, yeah, and the water is actually just shooting up back into the vent. So we're going to have to order a new water heater. And I see this is only a 40-gallon. You want to go tankless? Well, you have the room in here, and I see everything's accessible. You have gas here. Only problem gonna be is getting this thing vented. When you vent in tankless, it's different pipe altogether, different size pipe. So you have to go out all these walls to get to where we gotta get. And the gas. Did you want to go back with gas, or was electric better?
I never.
Electric is a lot easier.
I don't know.
But
this is what we met when we bought the house.
Gotcha.
20 years ago, sir.
Gotcha. So we'll have to find designated pipe for the gas line. That'll have to come here.
So I want to. Is it a job you can do, or something?
Sure.
You have to bring.
I'll probably get some help, but I can do it. Yes.
I need the quotation.
Okay. How much it'll cost? Okay.
I need a quotation for both. what it is now. If I want to upgrade, or if you want
Or
to go
keep this
electric.
one. Got you.
So,
Got you.
I cannot afford this water going here.
Yes.
I have a lot of stuff here that can.
I got you. I got you.
And it wasn't this way yesterday. It didn't pass the door. The door like.
Oh,
That's
wow.
Now I'm getting to the bottom of this.
Yeah. Do you have more towels?
That I know of. I don't normally use the mop.
Huh?
I normally use the mop.
Yeah, that mop isn't any good. So now we're going to take this gauge here. You should call it PSI gauge. Pretty beat up. I got one pretty old one. But it go up to 200 PSIs. This is going to check my PSI gauge on her house. To make sure that's not why the water heater busts like this. So if she get another one, we won't have to run into this again. We're going to go to the backyard because in the front yard, the hose bib is actually hooked up to the main city line, and it doesn't have a gauge on it, doesn't have a PRV or a pressure regulating valve to control your pressure. And we're talking about stagnant pressure. Some people think you don't have to test your water pressure every so many years because they think that they can judge their water pressure by their shower or something. But no, that's not telling you your water pressure. Stagnant pressure is when the water's off, and it's the effect that it has on your rubber gaskets and stuff. But I can't find her shut-off. Okay, I see it. It's upstairs on the porch. All right. Is it? What the heck? It's not up there. Oh, it is. Wow. Man, just when you think you've seen everything, man, you ain't seen nothing. Look at that. That's the hose bib in the backyard. And I don't think I'm gonna get my gauge on that. I think I'll do it inside directly from the water heater itself. Okay, man. I need to just get by that water heater one more time. I'm gonna check your pressure on this thing. Oh man, I didn't even bring my screwdriver. I forgot to bring my screwdriver for this little hose bib connection.
Is it in the car? Is your screwdriver in the car?
Yeah, but I think it'll be okay. Okay, let's see what kind of pressure is on this thing.
It still doesn't explain to me why there is no hot water. It can be leaking and still have it.
Say that again?
It can be leaking and still have hot water. Why is there no hot water? The heat is working in the house,
Yes.
and there is gas getting in there.
Well, this is your hot water tank. If it's leaking, depending on what tank it's coming from, it may be depleting all your hot water. Remember I told you there's two tanks in here. You got one on the bottom and one on the top. And there's like a straw that goes down, and the cold water boils while that warm water is used by you. So I think it's leaking up top.
Excuse me, sir. If you're still on the Facebook, I don't want to look at the back conversation.
Oh, okay. All right, let's turn this back on real quick. See what kind of pressure we got. Well, as we can see, it went up to about 70 psi's. Okay, for the sake of this water getting all over the floor, I'll turn it off. But 70 psi's is pretty high. Anything, well, 55, 60 psi's is safe. When they get over 70, 80 is the really alarm, where you can worry about a leak and stuff. But we'll double check on the outside. It's really hard to get to your hose bib in the back. But